Hello everyone. It's James again. And for those of you that are new to this channel, I do thank you for giving this little cartoon man with a funny voice a bit of your time. And I do thank all of you long-time subscribers too. And your support and love really does touch my little cartoon heart. And I want to say thank you for those that donated recently. And you know who I'm talking to. You gave a very nice amount. And humbly and with much appreciation, I say thank you. Unfortunately, things and my messages get buried on Patreon. So I didn't see that information until recently. That there were donations given. No matter they are big or small. And the truth is, it doesn't matter the size. They are and you are all important. You see, I've been working on this channel for 14.5 years. And as some of you know, when a lot of channels had problems because of the powers that be, let's just say, that was the start of the difficulty for this channel. So basically what was happening was, this channel was growing at a really good pace. And I say with all seriousness, I was getting about 100 new subscribers each and every single day. Some days I would get 50. Some days I would get 200. Some days I would get 75. But for back then, that kind of growth was for me amazing. I, like Ollie and a few others, were thinking, okay, if I can keep up this growth, I can get to a point where I can do this full time. Because the truth is, there are still many people out there that have no idea about how narcissistic abuse works. And all of the things they should know to get free from such horrible life happenings. And that's why I still make the videos that I make. And I wouldn't be shocked if the same were true for Ollie. I don't know for sure. But he strikes me as the kind of guy that doesn't want to see others go through what he went through. But you see, some of us, we're starting to connect the dots. Because trust me, when we are talking about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, there are many dots to connect. Some of those dots many of us have connected to demons and Satan. But we've also connected those same dots to how the powers that be run society. Very strangely and oddly enough, how society is run mirrors almost to a T what most of us grew up like in our toxic homes of origin. And when some of us started to point these things out, the shadow banning started to happen. And all kinds of other crazy stuff happened too that was a mess. And I thank all of you that stood up for this channel back then. I really do appreciate you. But here's the thing. There are still problems. I will just share with you one of them. When I upload a video, almost like clockwork. And when I say literally as soon as I hit the upload button, way before anyone can see the video yet, 2, 3 or 4 subscribers are automatically removed. Now if I upload nothing, my subscriber count stays the same. I could possibly not upload a video for a week or 2. And my subscriber count will stay the same. Or possibly increase by 5 or 6 new subscribers. But the second, and I do mean the second, I hit the upload button, before you can even see the video, bam! It seems they, whoever they are, take away a handful of my subscribers. And I think they know. If myself and people like Ollie were able to grow organically, our channels would be a lot bigger than they are now. And hey, I don't really care about having a well-known channel just for the sake of it. I was just happy with the natural and organic growth I was experiencing. And sadly it was snatched away. And something to think about. This happened several years ago. Imagine where things would be at if that kind of censorship never happened. And for those that don't believe censorship is fake, or what are they talking about? No. It's very real. It happened to me, and in a more quiet way is still happening. It seems someone hit a button not allowing my channel to grow organically. Maybe a future video will shock the algorithm and will get me out of this hole. But we push on and we keep on moving forward. Because you see, these types of things are done to make me or someone else in the same boat just give up and move on. But those of us in the narcissistic abuse community know what it is like to struggle, and to have hardships and to work through them. And that is what we are going to continue to do. So even if you are just sharing a prayer with me, I appreciate you and your love. If you are giving $5 or way more than that, I appreciate your love and support. And every little bit helps this information to be available to those who need it. So maybe someone at the start of their young adult life can avoid some of the life pitfalls that we fell into. And maybe they can experience love and joy, and not being abused by everyone they meet. And they can be surrounded with peace, not abuse. Which brings me to the news story for today. And it's a story I was made aware of about a week ago. But there were other stories I needed to address as well. But this one is equally important. And why is it important? It's regarding a school teacher for, I believe, elementary special needs children. Allegedly physically mistreated one of the special needs students by pinning the child down on the ground, yanking the child up to their feet by their wrist, and then dragging the child to stick them in the restroom as punishment, allegedly. It was also reported this was done several times to the child before. And she also allegedly wrapped up the child in a folding exercise mat, according to other children, like a burrito. It's also reported that she removed some children the ability to use the restroom. Look. For those of you that have been on this channel for a long time, know this really bothers me a lot. Just like the last video with the mother. The so-called mother that allegedly had her 7-year-old child so scared out of his mind he missed the bus because she allegedly refused to set her child's alarm for him, because he wasn't doing her adult task in watching his little brother play on a trampoline by what looked like a big lake. But according to mom, this 7-year-old wouldn't do his adult job right. So he had to be punished. And according to this so-called mother, this child is mean and a liar, and hides his report card. But he's such a bad behaving child. All he could think about was making his way to school. When we all know, more than likely he was struggling with school, because he wasn't likely getting any help at home from so-called mom and so-called dad. And he basically had to fend for himself. And who knows what kind of teacher he has, and how they are treating him. And for me this hits home. Because though there is a big difference between special needs and special education, I was stuck in those special education classes. And I and other children were labeled as dummies and stupid. And it seemed I was the favorite for the teachers to pick on, as they simply couldn't stand my narcissist mother, and they, I believe, wanted my mother to get the hint and have her send my brother and I to another school. And had I gotten the help I should have gotten along with some other kids, my life would have greatly turned out differently. Because you see, the teacher is kind of like the last line of defense to protect the child and give them some hope and a chance in this world. And some teachers, the ones that are toxic and narcissists, they love what most, if not all, narcissists love. That is to leave a long-lasting effect on the child's life, knowing they are sentencing that child to a long hard road of meaningless jobs and low-paying jobs their entire life. Just like your narcissist husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend. They want that breakup and all the damage they did to you carry over into all areas of your future life. And I believe narcissist teachers are the same way. And what is one of the main things that toxic teachers do? They are likely doing it now, and they were doing it when I was in school. That is denying your ability to use the restroom. They want to see you have the embarrassment of having an accident. And they love to know you are just squirming in your chair and you will have to race down the hallway praying you make it, when it's time to take an official break or class is over for the day. It is also reported this teacher is in the middle of a divorce. And there are some child custody issues and possible threats of someone committing DV. It's not clear if it's the husband or this lady. But if the husband is a good guy, and we don't know, He can be just as bad as she is allegedly. Allegedly. But if he's not and he's a victim in this too. Please do not try to fix this woman. Use this as a way to make sure you get 100% custody and raise your child around normal healthy people. And get them the help they probably will need. Look. There are some people that do not need to be teachers. Let's say she's not a narcissist. But let's say she still possibly did these things. And she did them because of frustration. My question is, why are you taking a job with special needs children? That might talk out of turn. Or wander off. Or they might not do or say the right things when you want them to. I don't know if these children were autistic. But I wouldn't be shocked if they were. And children with these problems require a lot of patience and understanding. It was reported the child this so-called teacher did this to just kind of wandered off. And when the teacher tried to give directions to the child kind of kept on marching to the beat of their own drum and refused. So she allegedly pushed the child. And then when she allegedly gave more directions to the child threw themselves on the floor. And that's where the alleged mayhem occurred. Why not call another teacher for help? Why not say, you know what? I don't think I'm suited for this job. Well, whatever the reason is. Beatriz Rapisarda chose to allegedly battle it out with a special needs child. But here's the thing. If she is a narcissist or another one of the toxic types on the tree of cluster B, she might have just overplayed her hand like most of these types allegedly do. They have gone through life doing what they want to others and playing victim so much and getting away with it. It almost becomes a default setting to them. And they start to take on the impulsive nature of the psychopath. Because their off switch becomes less and less with the more they get away with. They start off, in my opinion, at least most of them, very cautious. Because for them it's all about not getting into trouble. But the more they don't get into trouble, the more they stop thinking about the negative consequences. Why? Because they in most cases have gotten away with a lifetime of victimizing others. All the while having their excuses and smearing of their victims believed. I mean, look at the so-called mother in my last video. The first things out of her mouth were smears against her 7-year-old son. All to shift the blame off of her horrible self and onto an innocent child. Why do they do this? Well, at some point it's worked for them in the past. So they just keep on doing it. But the sick part about this is, it's teachers like this that can greatly negatively impact what a child is going to be when they grow up. And the chances they will have in the world. Even if the child comes from a good home. But let's say a particular child comes from a messed up home like myself and many of you watching. These people could have helped us. At least at bare minimum. Helping us get a good education so we could escape our circumstances and have a better life when we got older. I look at these teachers that are honored by their now grown students. And they talk about how they came from such a horrible home. But Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so helped out. And gave extra assistance and guidance that made all of the difference in the world. These children deserve a shot at life. No matter they be special needs, slow learning, or whatever. I will remind you of a man that was for real put into such classes. And was mistreated at home and at school. But fought to defy the odds. But this man still carries the scars of what happened to him as a child till this day. When he speaks about it, this tough man has to compose himself, as you can tell he doesn't want to break down publicly. Regarding what happened to him at home and at school. One of the ways this man deals with this difficult topic is he tries to joke about it. Because when he talks about it seriously, you can tell it messes him up inside. What can be done about teachers like this? Well, acknowledge that narcissism is real and more common than what it has previously believed to be. And even if someone is not a narcissist, toxic people are more common than they aren't. and realize if you put a toxic person in charge of children, you are effectively signing this child up to a more than a hard life. And doing so is evil and terrible. I pray for this young special needs child. I pray Jesus wipes these negative experiences from their thoughts. And they will hopefully be around caring and understanding teachers that are able to care for their special needs with patience and love. Well, that's all I have for now. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.